and still throw passes because I'm gonna just dominate you. I like the domination aspect of it. But if that's what you have to do, I'm not talking about New Mexico State. I'm talking about people that have all these top 4 and 5-star players, and then you go get dominated. You look weird. I expect the SMU to get beat down. I expect the Indiana to take a beat. I don't expect Tennessee to get beat like that. I just don't. It's too cutesy. Hype.
Too
hype. Just call you hype from now on.
Too cutesy. DC, what's your thought process on that?
I don't have a problem with the progression of offense. What I have a problem is what the offense is doing to the defenses. I'm used to a physical stand of defense, man. Physical style of defense. So what the offenses are doing to the defenses as far as the hurry up, no huddle, it's like, man, making defense kind of obsolete. I don't want college football to become the NBA. And it seems like kind of like that's where it's going, man. Where's the dominant defense now? You don't see it because of the spread and the no huddle offenses. So I'm not opposed to the offense, just what the offenses are doing to the defenses.
That leads to my next question. You brought it up. It's a great transition there, DC. How does this change affect the defensive philosophies and recruiting on the defensive side of the ball? Because now we talked about this last night on the show, the 3-3-5 and what Auburn has going, and we kind of try to determine who could possibly be those guys on that side of the ball. And we basically said the 3-3-5 is a more athletic defense compared to what you're used to seeing, a 3-4-4, 3-4-2-5.
Excuse me, you said 5-3-3?
No, 3-3-5.
Who's running the 3-3-5?
Auburn runs it sometimes.
Really?
Yes.
Carry on.
Okay, I guess. All right. I don't know what that means, but all right. But that's what we talked about. we talked about this last night. And I'm so lost right now.
I tried to
I'm
tell
so
you.
lost right now, but it is. Yeah, you did. I'm so lost right now. But it is. But how does defensive recruiting change in this era? I mean, we've kind of been in this era, let's just say, for the past 6-7 years, maybe. We've been in this era where we've been kind of spreading it out. We've kind of almost changed over to was in the transition of that. But what type of player are you looking to? Are you looking to recruit basketball players on defense now that can go out and cover these guys and that can play? Are you looking to get smaller linemen to go out and be able to rush the quarterback? Are you still looking to get the traditional guys to go out there and do this? Because finding those type of guys are going to be kind of rare. What are y'all thoughts on that? Let's start with B Sharp.
You asking, like, if you asking, like, I really don't like that type of defense at all, man. The whole 3-3-5. That's what you asking?
No, what I'm asking is, how does defensive recruiting changes? Like, how does the philosophy change? Because now you see the 3-3-5, which can turn into a 4-2-5, which could potentially be a 3-4. It could be a 3-4 defense, depending on the way that most defensive coordinators want to run it. I mean, because when you have those different type of defenses, personnel changes, body type changes, height changes, weight changes. You're not used to having. You may have. Sometimes we were used to seeing, 6'5", 280 pound. 285 pound defensive ends. Now you seeing 6'3", 250 pound defensive ends playing on the line of scrimmage. So I'm just saying, like, how does the evolution of the offense change going forward? How does it change the philosophy? How does it change the recruiting tactics that coaches and staffs have to go through now in order to compete?
Yeah, man, I think you're going to be recruiting a lot more like secondary players for the most part. A lot of guys that are speed rushers. You're just gonna have to be versatile for the most part. You can't be like how DC said. You don't want it to be like the NBA. Like, you remember those centers like Ben Wallace, like those type of guys in the NBA probably wouldn't exist in this league now. Just depend. You have to know how to do more. You just can't just do one thing anymore. You got to adapt. So it's going to really change up the type of players that you get. you're not going to really see, depending on the play style of certain teams, like maybe at Georgia, you're going to see a lot of running. So you're going to definitely have to have some defensive tackles, defensive linemen. Like you may still see those guys normally there, but for the most part, you definitely going to have more cover corners because of how everything's so air raid now. You're going to have somebody that can cover. So it's gonna be a lot different, especially with that linebacker position. You just can't just sit there. You're gonna be more than likely matched up with a slot receiver, maybe, depending on the situation, or more than likely you're gonna be lined up with a tight end. So it's definitely gonna change up.
Tits, what you think?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't know if it'll necessarily change recruiting too much because the style of offense that we're talking about came from high school.
Very
right?
true. Very
so
true.
like the kids that are being recruited today are coming from systems that they plug right into what these coaches are wanting to do now. So like I don't think you'll see too much of a difference in recruiting. It may be easier to miss on a kid now because like it's gonna be so many kids that are versatile. Like look at how many. If you take it, even if you look at the kids that we recruited, right? Like a lot of them are versatile players.
Yep.
A lot of them can play 2 levels on the defense. A lot of them have played both ways in high school. So it'll be easier, I think, just to misevaluate a kid, just because all of them are kind of in the same mold now. But yeah, I don't think as far as going out and how you go about recruiting kids, it's what's in high school now. It's the same kids as in high school. The players for the old style of football that we talk about, like they like unicorns. You see a big D tackle or a big DN now, it's like where you find him at? Right?
Exactly.
It used to be a time where that was plentiful, but like now,
exactly.
yeah, it's just different, man. It's just different. It's just different. The kids are different, but like I don't think that the recruiting philosophy changes much.
Shout out to Bubba, man. Well, hold up. Shout out to Bubba, man. Bubba be coming in with the stats, man. I'm gonna go through this, man. I want to get y'all takes on this. He said there will eventually be a regression of mean in terms of physicality. That's the way history works over time. Over the course of the next decade or so, defenses will become even smaller. Therefore, offenses will counter with size. You see it in the NFL right now. Offenses had to become smaller and faster out of necessity to counter defenses physicality. Linebackers were 250. Defensive linemen, hold on, wait, go to the next one. Were consistently 315 or larger. So just be patient and physicality will return to the level you want. Got to get back to work. Shout out to Bubba for coming in and doing that, for giving us that take real quick, man. So
that's a valid take too.
It's a valid take. That's a valid take. So basically, will all of this lead us back to where we started at?
I think it happened already, because that's exactly what happened when if you look at when Florida kind of did their thing with Tebow, really with Percy Harvin, and how did they battle that person? How did I think Saban went after Percy Harvin? I mean, after Tim Tebow, where they're being more physical and controlling the ball, and because people just weren't prepared to take on the Gators and all that speed and all that stuff. But when they didn't give them many opportunities, and they played a more physical brand of football in that next year, he was able to overcome the Gators. So I think we've seen it. Even like now, when Ohio State was winning, they were kind of spreading the ball around like crazy, starting with like a Troy Smith, I guess, that time period.
Yep.
But when the SEC kind of came up with what we were doing, I'll say we, as all the teams were doing down here, they just didn't have the people in the trenches. You have to be able to control the trenches, either by getting the ball, just getting rid of the ball before the defensive line can take over, or having an offensive lineman to keep the defensive line at bay. For many years, we had the best of both worlds, I think, and even in this championship now, you're going to see that. That's why Michigan was able to beat Alabama last year. They had both sides of that line, with overtime, but they had both sides of that line pretty much taken care of. Might see the same thing come Tuesday. I'm not sure. But even in the playoffs, I think you're going to see you got to control by more than just physicality. You have to be able to just control the line of scrimmage, whether you're getting rid of the ball or you just still dominating in some kind of way, whether nobody can get to your quarterback without you sending 7 or something crazy like that, you know. And that's why it makes it possible for a Boise State to win a game, because I don't think they're going to go out there and blow, is it Georgia or Penn State? I don't think they're going to blow them away, but if they can outfox them, just the way, like, same way they outfoxed Oklahoma many years ago, it's a possibility. And that's why you got to have that creativity out there, especially it depends on where you're coaching at. If you go take over a job at nobody's really open right now, but if you took over a job in Arkansas, it's different than taking over the job at a MAC school. It's just two different worlds.
Gotcha. DC, what you thinking on that, man? What's your thought?
Man, I think both Tez and my man Sharp hit on it. You can't be one-dimensional. Now you have to recruit players that play at all levels. You know what I'm saying? You have to have defensive ends that can drop back in coverage. You have to have linebackers that can come up, rush the passer. You have to have safeties that can come down and play in the box. So you have to have all these versatile players. Like Nick Saban was one of the first people to transition when they had all those big defensive linemen. He was one of the first person to transition and then bringing walking linebackers down the end. And what's the guy for he's one of the last, I think, Saban guys. No, not Malachi Moore. The guy, he was a hybrid and just a menace. He played like not last year, but 2 years ago. The Alabama guys, y'all. That's him.
Will Anderson, okay.
He was, you know what I'm saying? He was what Saban made. You feel what I'm saying? As far as a hybrid player. So I think that's what it's going to affect, man, is more than anything. Is just anybody can play different positions and play at all 3 levels.
Shout out to Lynn. I think Lynn, coming from the Sharpshooter Podcast Studios, man, he said, I think the cornerback and safety positions has changed the most of all positions. Size of the cornerback are so much bigger. Safety when he played, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he played at Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. When he played was really to help with numbers for the run. So brings me back to another point that I want to bring up. The size of players. I think Ted's kind of brought it up a little bit earlier. He said you just didn't see those type. Like it was few and far between where you just didn't see. I think you said a defensive end that was like 280. Or did I say that?
I think you said it. Somebody did.
Somebody did. But now you see guys like a Keyron Crawford at Auburn. You know, I mean, he would probably be a linebacker, you know, back in the day. But he's playing on the line as a buck rush position on the end of the line. I mean, he's a nice size built guy, you know what I'm saying? Very strong. I mean, you look at other guys, like, I'm Alabama fans, I would ask y'all this. Would y'all think Corey Russaw, would he have been somebody that plays on the line 7 years ago?
Well, you got to remember, they had I can't think of it. Rolando McClain was like a defensive end player, middle linebacker. He was 6'5", 245 or something like that.
Exactly.
And but now you got LT Overton. He went from coming to out of high school, I think 235, 255 when he got from Texas A&M, and they say he's around 280 now. Still on the, I guess they call it a bandit position, because he will drop back in coverage. I think he still maintains some, short coverage speed, not going down the field. Although I did see him get beat about 20 yards down the field. He's a defensive lineman trying to check a tight end 20 yards down the field. That's like crazy. I don't know. We ain't ready for that. So I'd rather have your guy than our guy in that particular instance. But you do have to be ready for everything, because college, one thing I will say, college does a horrible job of checking tight ends in the first place. But you got to have versatility, though.
I tell you this. You mentioned this. There's this new position. It's not new. It's been around for a while, but it's been more prominent within the past 10, 12 years. A lot of people call it, I think y'all said y'all call it the bandit position. A lot of people would call it the star position. So this hybrid type player that's on offense, that's on defense, that has to cover these offenses who are revolutionizing the game of football. These guys, I mean, back in the day, having a guy like that on a team, I wouldn't say it was rare, but it wasn't as much needed as you are now, because you have a type of guy that has to cover almost they can probably cover 3 different positions on the offensive side of the ball. How important is having not just one, but possibly 3 or 4 guys like that on the defensive side of the ball to cover these offensive guys on the opposite side of the ball? How important is that? Either one of y'all that want to go with that first. I know I was going to order, but whoever got some, go first. Let me see what you think.
I think you need like 6 almost, because Alabama runs a sting, they run a wolf, they run a bandit, and something else, husky. And as I understand it, all of them are hybrid people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
1 minute they're going this way, next minute they're going that way. They're covering this. The only people I think that don't have these dualities of their position is the 2 defensive tackles that sit, over the center and the guards. Mm-hmm. Everybody else may have to take off and do something, or what they call scrape off somebody. You know what I mean? Like if that tight end comes off, can you at least bump him before you go toward the quarterback? But so it looks like we need at least 9, but at least 6 people at every play got to be able to go both ways. Mm-hmm. But it looks like 9 at times, depending on who you're playing. Like Tennessee, they drove us crazy because I don't think people really understood their responsibilities very well. So you're talking at least 6 people, I think, just in today's world, especially if you got a situation where Alabama push you in when you got 2 tight ends to cover. I mean, that kind of like really blows the mind when you think about it.
Yeah,
I think maybe you have a good cover corner that can't cover a tight end because of size.
Yeah, I think maybe 6, 8, like you say, even more, because you get teams like Ole Miss, man, that once they get you going, you can't get off the field. So if you go in multiple formations, man, you got to be able to. Your linebacker got to be able to play, defensive end. You know what I'm saying? He got to drop in coverage because you're playing these teams that are running these hurry up offenses, and they're gonna keep you on that field, bro. So everybody on that field has to be able to play multiple positions. You know what I'm saying?
At a high level for a long time.
Yeah, for real, man.
You just playing one position. Them days are pretty much over, man. You got to at least know how to do something else.
Right.
You just can't be a one.
Shout out to Ed Darp. He just basically summed up. He said, with the hurry up offense, you have to have interchangeable players. Which
that's true.
I agree with.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you have to run a lot of people on defense because, like I said, the only people really got the break, I think, could be offensive linemen unless they're out of shape. I mean, they can just keep firing off and going after you. But I'm just looking at the scores from last night's game. Just throw it in there. I'm not going to give the scores away just in case you haven't seen the games. I mean, who actually won. But 46-48, 41-44, 38-31. I mean,
yeah.
Defense is becoming. I know people they want it like this because style makes fights, but they want it like this to get the scores up so it'll be an exciting bowl game. But I used to say, man, I want to see a defensive struggle, I don't want to see a defensive battle, but I want to see some defense sometimes. If they out there running pick sixes back, that's one thing. But when it gets to a point, I'm telling you, just like the NBA, you get to the point where your game becomes, I'm not saying one-dimensional, but that dimension where the score just goes up, and up, and up, and up, like the NFL is becoming. It's not very attractive. Like, what's the number 1 defense in the NFL?
If I had to say right now,
Vikings probably.
I'd probably say either the Vikings. Yeah.
And who's the primary player on the team? Because you might, when Ray Lewis was doing it, it wasn't a question. It was like Ray Lewis. Mike Singleterry's like, I don't know nobody on the Vikings team. Were they just playing better team ball together as the defense? It gets a little one-sided. It get kind of boring, to be honest. Like,
what it is for me is teams don't play complementary football no more.
That part.
So like, what's happening is everybody's running the same type of offenses. So you got all these teams running spread offenses. So the defenses have to play one way. None of us like the 3-3-5 or 4-2-5 defense, but realistically, what other option do you have? What other defense is there that allows you to be multiple in a hurry up situation where you can put 4 on the line, where you can drop 8 in coverage, where you can blitz, where you can do all these things without interchanging players?
Right.
So that's what you're getting. And then on the offensive side, they're not playing complementary football because everybody's hunting big plays now. So you're not going to see a defense just dominate. When you think back about the Ravens, what type of offense did they have? time of possession was the name of the game back then.
Right.
I'll tell you this.
That's not the case no more.
I'll tell you, Tez. I'll tell you about the Ravens. The year that they won the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl, they went, if I'm not mistaken, I think they went 5 weeks without scoring an offensive touchdown.
That's amazing.
That's a bad defense right there.
That's a bad deal.
That was Ray Lewis. That was Ray Lewis. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody in the chat fact check me on this, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe that offense that they was having quarterback issues that year.
Trent.
They was having quarterback issues that year.
Roll Tide.
They had I think they
just stopped me on my tracks, man. Anyway,
they had them boys on that defense.
Yeah, they did.
Sir.
Jamie Sharper.
They went like 5 weeks without an offensive touchdown.
That's
and if I'm not mistaken, they won like 4 of those games.
Damn, Adam Saragusa.
So I mean, okay, that brings up a question in my mind. I ask you this, and I want to get this is preference. This may be preference for all y'all. With the offenses that we see now, would you rather have a dominant inside presence on the defensive line, or would you rather have one of those hybrid star guys on the back end, whether it's a hybrid linebacker, DN type guy, or whether it's a hybrid safety linebacker type guy on your defense? Which one would you rather have?
I kind of think.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. You fine. I was just thinking about. I'm not a fan of the Cowboys, but when I look at what's number 11 name?
Michael Parsons.
Yeah, they win mostly with him playing, and they don't win when he doesn't play. But then it gets to a point now that their offense is taking a couple of steps back, it's coming back a little bit. I mean, he's about as big a defensive starter I can think of. And like, does it matter? You know what I mean? Like he's awesome, he's unstoppable, strong. And then he gets depressed, and I think he may slow down, but it's like I'm looking at Sauce Gardner, and then you got Quentin Williams in the middle of the Jets. Who cares? Their offense is terrible.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but you may want some on the defensive end. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm always gonna take a defensive game changer, because I'm about to say our offense can always be upgraded. The defense more than likely can't. I don't ever see too many great defenses. You may see some good ones, but you don't ever get to see any great ones. Like you got TJ Watt that I think is just great. That's a game changer. Or you got like a Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu type guy that can change the game in an instant. Or Ray Lewis.
Right.
Those guys don't fall off trees every day. You see a lot of offensive guys every day. But those type of defensive guys you don't really necessarily see.
But don't you need to have two of those guys? I mean, I'm not trying to go to the NFL, but don't you need to have two of those guys? Like somebody's dominating the line or the edge, and there's one side of the field that you probably don't need to throw to. Even if you don't intercept the ball, the guy is defending plays like crazy. Like, his guy's not catching today.
The prime example that I can think of, like I said, I ain't trying to go to the NFL because I know we talking college.
Right.
I'm about to say the person that I can think of, you got like Aaron Donald, and they had Jalen Ramsey on the Rams.
Right.
That helps a whole lot.
That helps a lot to have both of them. Yeah. But if I had to choose, I do go edge.
You got both.
But if I choose, I do go edge rush, especially in college, because if you got somebody like, that dude at South Carolina gave us fits.
Boy, what you say?
Woo! That dude at South Carolina forced the safety. He was a problem. Humongous problem. Was he a sophomore?
It only speeds up that clock. We just think about all the guys that has been disruptive. Like how Will Anderson was so disruptive when he was on the field. Right. Like you only had a certain amount of time when you drop back. We know he's going to get there.
And the guy that's in Minnesota, by the way, played at Alabama.
Dallas Turner.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The D line is the easiest way to affect the game.
Yep, I'll take
sure. Y'all have one.
I'll take D lineman. I'll take D lineman, man.
I got Keldrick Falk. Keldrick Falk is one of those guys.
Yeah, I'll take D lineman because you can affect the game with a D lineman. a cover corner can only cover so long.
Mhm.
You know, he can only.
But what if that cover corner shuts down the whole side of the field?
Yeah, but he can only cover so long.
It's
I don't
only
care
so
who you
long.
are.
But
He can
shut
only
down the
cover
whole
so
side of the
long,
field.
bro.
He
But
shut the whole side of the field
that
up.
defensive end can rush that quarterback, bro. He can stop the whole play.
Like
Mhm.
6, 7
He
seconds.
can stop the play from going even starting. But
A good defensive end,
yeah,
a good defensive line can make
Mhm.
a secondary look amazing.
Exactly.
Yes,
Amazing.
exactly.
I agree with you
Yes.
there. I agree with you.
Amazing.
Witness to that. Put a lot of DBs in the league out of Alabama. And I'm like, I see him in the NFL. I'd be like, wow.
I want to know which one you talking about, boy. We about to lead. But we got them safeties and corners in the lead now.
Yeah, he in there, but it's like I got my eye on him. I be
It's certain guys.
everybody not Patrick Surtain.
Oh well, of course. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. I ain't gonna lie to you on that. Yeah.
Some of the people like, but I do think that you got to have that compliment. But if you got that guy that can just like Derrick Thomas back in the days before heyday, he was just disruptive. I mean, he was just disruptive. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what we're losing by. He's gonna do his thing. You know what I'm saying? Why the other 20-something people couldn't? If he winning you 6 games, can you go win him 4 games? I mean, that kind of stuff. Why they didn't stay in double digits, I don't get it. But he was just a natural born disruptor.
Yeah, man, that was that what I'm saying, man. Those are game changers. Those are type of the guys. They don't just fall off trees. Those are once in a lifetime players that you don't get to see all the time. Like, we see the flashy wide receivers, unless you like Calvin Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald in college, and you just like Ed Darby said it right there, Lawrence Taylor. Once in a lifetime type player. Not a generation, a lifetime. Reggie White.
We were talking about like offenses. I don't know. Do you guys remember when Peyton Manning came into the league or into the SEC, to Tennessee?
Yeah.
Now, all I had to base him on, I was like, that's his daddy. So I'm go look at some Archie stuff. And I'm like, so that's his daddy. But because his daddy wasn't a prolific passer, he was a hustler now. He was a Diego Pavia,
he was
right in the middle of the street quarterback, but that Saints thing was not pretty. Then when we didn't have all this I didn't have access to all this high school film on a Peyton Manning. Even when I looked at the numbers, it didn't mean nothing to me because what Peyton did versus what my high school quarterback did, they didn't mean nothing to me. Because you don't know who they're playing. But when I first saw him play, he was spinning it. I was like, hey, how old is this dude again? Like, how old is this dude? Because he was spinning day one. Whether they caught it or not was another thing. I never could understand why he couldn't get over past Florida. I never could understand. I think they had greater athletes on the defense, all that kind of stuff. But the way he was he just did everybody. And it was a pro style offense. It wasn't necessarily spread, but the way he could throw and he deciphered information at that age, it was just incredible. And I think he threw some of the teams in the SEC totally in a different direction. Some said, I want to run that offense, not realizing that this dude is a unicorn. Other people said, we got to get somebody to get him off his heel. You got to go get some defense. You're better off going to get some defensive ends or some disruptive linebackers to get this man off his square before you are about to go and get this guy out of high school. You're not going to find no Peyton Manning any and everywhere. You know what I mean? He was so rare that Eli was just a whole different type of player. He played more like his father, to be honest. And but this guy, I just remember when he first came in, it was like, all Tennessee people was like, yeah, we're going to win that championship. And they had good reason to think that way. But I saw a lot of teams try to emulate that, and that was a mistake. I mean, they try to emulate that by going to get their own quarterback, going to get their own receivers, not realizing that in this area, there was more Derrick Thomases and stuff running around than there were, Javon Curse, 6'7" freak or 6'5". Well, he was a 6'5" freak with the reach of a person that's 6'7" or 6'8" because his arms are very long. It was a lot more of those people running around than people thought. and I think that it's a choice you have to make. So hopefully there'll be some defensive masterminds that'll come up and figure out how to slow some of these, Tennessee down, on a regular basis. Well, look, all you do is slap them upside the head and they fold. Wow. But you poke them in the eye or something, throw some sand in the eye. I don't know what happened at Ohio State, man. It just didn't look right.
Jesus. I'm gonna ask y'all this. I want to get y'all. I want to get an answer from each one of y'all because I'm gonna get mine as well. Who do you attribute the person as introducing this style of offense to the SEC, to college football? It could be somebody prolific. It can be somebody that you saw do it first. Who would you say is the person that you would attribute to that? I'll start it off. I'm gonna go Tony Franklin. I'm gonna go with Tony Franklin when he was at Auburn, when he tried to spread it out with it wasn't Tony, Al Borges. My bad.
No, you're right with Tony Franklin. He was the first person to bring the no huddle. Try to bring that no huddle. Hurry up.
First person to try to bring it.
He tried to bring it.
It was Al Borges.
It wasn't good though.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good. Yeah. You're right. You was right though.
It was between the Al Borges and Tony Franklin situation that happened. That's who I would say that I saw trying to do it first. Who was y'all?
I'm gonna go to our old ball coach Steve Spurrier. When Steve Spurrier came with that fun and gun, bro, it was like something like you was like, how are they doing that, man? Right. At the clip, the explosive plays they had at the clip they were scoring, man. I had never seen anything like that. And he came in the era right on the heels. He changed it, man. Because think about, Saban adjusted to that, and that was the beginning of his evolution. And I give Saban credit. He is the mastermind of evolving, man. That dude evolved. I'm gonna tell you this, dude. But Steve Spurrier is my guy. You go.
But Saban runs a cover 7 defense, which basically means he has one more defender on the side of the field than what the receivers.
But I agree. But this is
3 over 2 or 4
and I'm not.
That's how he runs. But it is.
I agree. But like I said, the more Saban goes away from Alabama and distances himself, the more I like him. But with Saban, man, even though he had the nuts and bolts of that defense, the genius of it was he changed the integral parts. You know what I'm saying? Like putting a Will Anderson in a spot. And you know what I'm saying? Taking these hybrid players and maybe using the same defense. But the genius was, man, he was able to manipulate it, man, to now catch up with a Steve Spurrier and have Tim Tebow on the sideline crying. You feel what I'm saying? So back to the question, I don't want to get off the question, but Spurrier, man, for me, it was mind-blowing when I first saw that Florida offense with them guys, bro. It was mind-blowing.
Okay. All right. What you got, B-Sharp?
He said it right there, the whole ball coach. It's plain and simple, man. It's Steve Spurrier. I couldn't say it better.
Yeah, I was trying to get somebody different because I was going to say the same thing.
And then, I you know what? Another guy that I love, man, like growing up, and I don't feel like he get a lot of credit that he should. June Jones, man.
I was about to get into like the June Jones and the Mike Leaches of the world.
Who was the guy at Kentucky that was mentor to Mike Leach though? It was, what was his name?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Hold on,
he started it all, man.
I'm looking up what y'all doing.
I forgot about him.
He was a mentor to Mike Leach. I think because it didn't work that because we had too many horses for him. Let's see. It was a Kentucky coach. I can't think of it.
I'm looking it up right now.
But yeah, man. Yeah, Mike Leach. You can definitely add Mike Leach on there. God rest dead. Man, it's just different, man. I just
Hal Mummy.
Yeah, Hal Mummy.
Hal Mummy said that thing out. Hal Mummy used to add that thing out. He didn't care what was going on. What years was that? Golly, 1997 to 2000. He used to add that thing out. He didn't care. He came in with that whole, if we throw it, we will win. It's like, it's not that simple, but he used to do. But down here, it was just too much.
So okay. So we talking about spread offenses or like just in general or the offenses that we see today?
No, the spread. Because you can because I can sit here and say that Gus Malzahn runs a spread type offense, but it's definitely a power run style offense. It's running the ball first with Gus Malzahn. You could definitely say that, but we're talking about the spread offense.
Yeah, if we just saying spread offense, then I'm gonna go with Spurrier.
Okay,
But in terms of like what you see on the field today, you got to get at the Gus, man. As far as bringing it to the SEC, you have to, right? He's the guy who got the rules changed.
Yeah.
It's specifically a play that he won an Iron Bowl on. Got a rule change for ineligible man down the field in the RPO game.
What are you talking about? Marshall throwing the ball to Sammy Coates and Sammy Coates scoring to tie the game up. That's what you're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. So, like, if that's not revolutionary, what are we talking about? Like, you're getting rules changed in there, and then we start other. The reason why you see now everybody's going after quarterback is because I feel like because of the Cam Newton. Because of that offense, because of that RPO-based offense, you need a good quarterback to run it. Before that, we saw quarterbacks, average quarterbacks in the SEC offenses win championships. Now everybody needs that guy. Quarterback got to be able to run. He got to be able to pass. He got to be able to decipher this. That wasn't always the case. And I think the first person, if you can give it to Urban Meyer too. You can go to Tim Tebow route, or you can go to the Cam Newton route. But right around in there is where it kind of changed for me, as far as a drastic change. Because Spurrier did bring the spread offense, but nobody emulated it. Teams didn't just start transitioning into that offense.
Something he mastered too was
that hurry up, no huddle offense came into the SEC and spread like wildfire.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's awesome, man.
I think what Spurrier was able to master too is like I know people always run track, but I don't think he had a person on the team that didn't qualify or run at state level in the 100 or 200. It was like a lot of people, the track people don't catch as well. They're just fast. I don't know. He figured it out because he literally had people leave his team and go straight to the Olympics to run track. I mean, at the same time, a lot of times.
Well, if you're getting them boys out of South Florida, that's normal.
True.
That's just pretty much normal. That ain't nothing new.
Well, I mean, like Bobby Bowden couldn't do it as well. He was successful, but he didn't have it like Spurrier. I mean, that
was
speed them guys was ridiculous.
Yeah, but he wasn't necessarily like passing the ball like Steve Spurrier either. Like, but he was not, especially during that time.
He passed a short ball, get a short ball to Peter Warwick and let him. Peter Warwick just finesse his way down the field. But he did run a more balanced offense. But Spurrier. God, I didn't think we were ever gonna try to beat that guy. And it's funny how Gene Stallings was able to beat Miami, just turn around and let Spurrier just took over. This just let you know how fast it were. Like Miami was super duper fast. Florida was faster to me. I mean,
Florida was something else.
It's really fast.
Something else, bro. And Spurrier will run it up on you too, bro. You'll run it up
in a heartbeat.
That is true.
But that shows.
Let's step outside the SEC real quick. Where does Chip Kelly fall into this?
Chip Kelly?
Yeah.
The quitter?
Get y'all opinion on Chip. Old Chip Kelly. Where does he fall into this?
Chip Kelly.
He was innovative in this offensive, this movement of offenses as well. The way that guys eat, the way that they tracking how they sleep. This whole hurry up. With De'Aaron Thomas and the Michael James and those guys. So where does he fit into this? Stepping outside the SEC.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. I think he's if not top 5, top 3. Because you just see you almost got a Heisman Trophy running back out of there. Michael James and them boys were eating out of that with Anthony Thomas. Who else was on there? It was so many guys that were just eating out of that system. And then you see he's literally went to 2 national championships off that. Only reason he didn't win because he had smaller guys on that defense.
Well, and that's what I was getting to. Is like, okay, all praises for what he did, but I'm one of these people. I kind of think that your love of competition means a lot, and when he finally got the competition, it changed.
True.
Depending on what competition you're talking about, because
I mean, he got to play against, kind of like with Miami playing nobody. Then they playing 2 games, win that championship. The bowl game and playing against Florida State to go win that or Notre Dame in that case. Notre Dame, if they won that game, they play for the national championship, or they wouldn't play Notre Dame in the national championship. It's like 2 games where other people were having to battle through a whole conference just to get an opportunity. It's like, does Chip Kelly's system work outside of the Pac-12? Because when he went to the mother schools and NFL, didn't last long.
You see it working at Ohio State, and he has an average quarterback.
You say it's working at Ohio State?
Yeah. And he has an average quarterback. He ain't even really running his system at Ohio State.
What he running at Ohio State is not what he ran at Oregon.
Oh, no. Of course. Because
I'm like that Ohio State, that's a little different.
You don't have a mobile quarterback that Will Howard is mobile, but he's not like, what's my guy?
What's the guy, Mariota?
He's not Marcus Mariota. He's not that type of guy. If you had that type of guy at Ohio State would be more dangerous than what they are now.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if as the head coach in his head coaching journeys, there have been some issues, especially when he was in Philadelphia. I think his biggest problem in Philadelphia was not understanding personnel, because obviously he didn't get it. I don't think
that might have been a race thing, but you can't one thing I'm gonna take up for him though, you can't equate innovation with success though, because like Mike Leach is innovative as they come. Right. Wasn't particularly successful, if you would,
right.
I would probably say it was Oklahoma State. He probably was.
Yeah, Oklahoma State it was. Well, marginally successful
as offensive coordinator.
Did they tight just freeze up?
Is it you talking about
Mike? I was about to say.
You talking about Leach as an offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like as a head coach.
As a head coach, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So because I know innovate. So what y'all saying that the several different iterations of Nick Saban wouldn't have worked in another conference?
Who, Nick Saban?
Yeah, like what if he did it all at Alabama in 09 to 12, from 13 to 16 to 16 to 20? None of those iterations of Nick Saban would have worked outside of the SEC.
Really? You believe that?
No, I'm asking the question.
Okay, I was about to say,
do I think that?
Is he getting the same players?
That's what I'm about to ask.
Is he getting the same players?
My next question is
still get the same players.
Yeah, if he getting the same players in the SEC,
it all depend on where it all depend on where your location is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand you're not trying to give Chip Kelly his flowers. If Chip Kelly wins one national championship, Chip Kelly is pretty much Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier, in my opinion, underachieved a whole lot. Yes, he had an innovative offense, but outside of that one national championship, can we really say Steve Spurrier really lived up to what he's supposed to be?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like Urban Meyer came in there and just changed the whole thing about Florida forever.
Mm-hmm.
Until he couldn't get no players.
Oh yeah, but that is always the case.
Which I never understand.
That's why DC asks, does he keep the same players?
Right. Because I mean, I thought it out there because even when Nick Saban got hired, I looked at his record at LSU and I was like, he got a national championship. I looked at have y'all ever examined the other 3 years he spent at LSU?
Yeah, they were bad. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that though. Nick Saban said when he got to LSU that the roster was trash. He said he had to go out and get certain guys. He said he basically came in and said we too small at cornerback, we were too small at linebacker, we were too small on the defensive line. Right. So he even said that. He was like, it's gonna take some time. And when he started recruiting those guys around LSU, the Marcus Spears of the world, when he started recruiting those type of guys, that's when he started winning. Then he jetted off in the NFL, and we all know what happened there. But I guess I'm with Saban. I think he found a blueprint that year at LSU of what he needed to do. Try to take it to the NFL.
In life, yeah.
Found out that it wasn't going to work in the NFL because he didn't have all the power. And
He didn't have that quarterback. Yeah, he didn't have all the power.
That's really the only thing we
would've
say
had-
about Nick Saban, but it's literally he just ain't have a quarterback. You give him,
if they would have cleared Drew Brees, he probably would have still been at the Dolphins.
thank God
That
that
would have really helped him. But hey, tough break, Nick.
hey,
All right, fellas, man. So let's get back to it. Let's get back on the offensive side of the ball, man. We talking about evolution of the offense, man. I want to get into the chat a little bit, man. There's been some conversation going on in the chat, so I just kind of want to see what these guys are talking about in the chat. You ladies and gentlemen are talking about in the chat. Arkansas's very own Wilders is giving us an update on what's going on with Arkansas. All right, shout out to Arkansas's very own. Ed Darby's in the chat. I think we was talking about who he would go with.
Yeah.
He said Mike Leach,
Innovation.
guy. Wade Lewis in here, man. He said Gus brought that hurry up offense to the SEC. So he with you, Tez. He with you on that one. Sharpshooters. He's saying, I think he's telling everybody go subscribe to Tight Channel. He's trying to get all the Alabama people with the Alabama folks. So we're gonna take that off real quick.
man, we'll take Auburn folks too, man.
We got to teach y'all the right way about football, man.
Hey,
we trying to educate the Auburn people.
it's me.
Too, man.
Hey, it's me. If you in the chat, it's me. What's up? Stop. I'm just playing. Inside joke. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, it's an inside joke. It was another one on here that I want to see. Here it is. Eric D, man. Shout out to Eric D, man. I saw him comment to him. He said Chip Kelly. Wait a minute, where'd it go? There we go. He said Chip Kelly and his Oregon teams were overrated because they had an easy schedule. Chip Kelly has all the right tools to win at Ohio. It has the right tools to win at Ohio State. They spent money to get there. So are they overrated at Ohio State now because it's still an easy schedule there?
They're playing. They're playing guys. I'm like we comparing the two biggest conferences is always going to be the Big Ten and the SEC for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, yes, they played an easy schedule, but Ohio State can pretty much compete with any team in the country. We ain't about to act like Ohio State ain't built for that.
They got the most expensive roster in the country.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they got
take away this year. Ohio State can't. Would you say that Ohio State couldn't compete with most teams?
Oh, they could.
No,
On a year-to-year basis,
yeah.
Ohio State.
Absolutely.
Besides the field, if they would have kicked that field goal, they would have beat Georgia
Exactly.
to the national championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with that. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
They're blue blood of college football.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
He's saying Chip Kelly and Oregon were overrated because they had an easy schedule in the Pac-10 or Pac-12 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We can all sit here and say the Big Ten has an easy schedule as well. So what's the difference?
I think they just win.
Give him the players.
I think it's the players, bro. Obviously, it's the players.
I think it's
now he has an easy schedule plus players. He got
Matter
some
of fact,
dogs, man.
Matter of fact, you switch Urban Meyer to those Oregon teams, and you switch Chip Kelly to those Florida teams. Them Florida teams would probably be more dangerous, especially with Chris Rainey and Jeffrey Demps and Percy Harvard and Riley Cooper and Aaron Hernandez. Them boys would probably be even more dangerous than what they was.
That's true. I mean, if he used
hypotheticals right there, that's a lot of hypotheticals.
I mean, the defense being the same. I mean, I can see that.
Lynn, we don't have a super chat right now. We still trying to get to 500. Here at the Water Cooler Talk, we are. So that's the reason why you don't see one. So if you want to, you can subscribe over here to Water Cooler Talk podcast. And
until then, my Cash App is
we like 11 subscribers over here at the Water Cooler Talk.
Hit the subscribe button.
Meet me in the chat. I'll give you my home address.
Like I said,
We'll get there, man. Shout out to Ed Darby, man. Ed Darby.
Any moment.
That's what I'm saying, man. He said the difference between the Big Ten versus the SEC. The Big Ten is not a week-to-week grind. Big Ten has 4 to 5 buys in their schedule. No one
they ain't got no Oklahomas and Vanderbilts and
you see Oklahoma found out. See, they found out, boy.
They tired. They tired. And people left the team, man. They tired. Navy. You know what? Ain't nobody transfer. Only one person transferred from Navy. He going to a regular school. You know, Navy got all they players.
My Oklahoma dudes were coming over when they beat Auburn, man. They came over and live, you know, talking about Oklahoma Magic. I'm just like, just hold on, man. Just hold on and wait.
Right.
You see how long that Magic gonna last, bro.
They lost the Navy.
Yeah. You said they lost the Navy?
By 1 point. 21
point.
Yeah, mercy, man.
Yeah,
Navy kept them out the end zone. They was inside the 10-yard line and lost the Navy.
Yeah, they was down. They was trying to go for a 2-point conversion and didn't get it. I think Michael Hawkins got sacked.
I'm so sick of coaches doing that on the road. The Saints did that, man. Like, you at home going, man, come on, man.
You ain't got nothing to lose, man.
True.
So they played against my team and we're going to the Super Bowl. But that's another story.
There you go.
Before we get up out of here, man,
Oh, man.
I'm gonna ask y'all this question before we get up out of here, man. What teams have adapted the best? Any team that you've seen through the SEC, you can go outside of the SEC as well. What teams have adapted the best with this evolution of the spread offense? Who's had the success? Who sustained the success the longest? Who has been able to sustain it and be able to have production? But in your opinion, what team has sustained the success and has adapted the best? I'm gonna start with Tez first. Let me see what you're thinking.
In the SEC?
Yeah, let's just stick to the SEC because we really talk SEC on this channel and Auburn, of course.
Unfortunately.
Throughout the, I say, how long we talking here? What's the,
all right? So I give you time period. Let's go from 2010 up until now. So we'll just go 14. The past 14 years.
Past 14 years have adapted the best to what is being played now. It's gotta be Tuscaloosa, man. I hate to say it, it's gotta be Tuscaloosa.
I'm not familiar with any team called Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, we're not saying that other stuff. We'll
you want to say Roll Tide or none of that?
A lot of stuff.
I corrected then. It's got to be Stillman. What I saw from Stillman.
Go down,
What I saw from Stillman for the last 10 years. That's been amazing.
Hey, man, I have to go, man. I want to agree with Tez and say Alabama, but I'm gonna say Alabama's a lot of what they're doing was triggered by what Auburn did. Gus Malzahn. Watch this, man. No, watch this.
Oh my God.
No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh my God.
I'm just not just being an Auburn homer. Just check it out.
DC, I'm with you.
What?
What?
Gus Malzahn jumped in. He jumped out and jumped back in. Came and won a national championship, right? I mean, when he was with Chiswick and won a national championship, he jumped out, jumped back in with the same offense and took another team to the national championship. Now, what team or what coach or what philosophy have you seen another coach go to the NCAA and be like, hey, bro, change the rules. This guy is too potent.
Well, Saban
not only changed, this dude could not keep up with him as far as philosophy on the field. So he had to go to the NCAA and be like, hey, man, I can't stop this dude offense and innovation. So could y'all just change the rules so I can keep up?
Yeah, they said this guy's cheating.
You tell me. That really happened. You tell me, dude. This dude went and got rules changed because he couldn't keep up on the field. Where have we seen that before, man?
What year was that?
Man, come on, man.
What year was that?
That was definitely 2013, 2014, sir.
If the offense subs, you got to allow the defense.
You got to serve the defense, yes.
So
they changed the last second rule, too, because...
So did he change football or did he change Alabama?
No, he changed football, bro.
He changed football.
Right,
he changed football because he changed
Alabama.
the rules. No, he changed the rules because, Gus, what I'm telling you is because what Auburn did, they saw down the line and they was like, okay, we gotta change. We gotta make this dynamic change, man, and it's an adjustment. Tuberville was trying to do it with Tony Franklin, but Tuberville wouldn't let Franklin bring his guys in to teach the offense, so it didn't take off. He was trying to do the same thing, man. But I give it to Alabama. But again, Alabama, that trigger was Auburn, dude. They was trying to keep up.
Yep.
But did Alabama change, or did the football change after Saban identified spirit of the game rules?
That's all.
Huh?
Spirit of the game.
They call it what you want.
Spirit of the game, because he said,
Jesus Christ,
you know what?
Spirit of the game.
He said, yeah.
No, that's called I can't. That's called I can't coach.
They still on sides, and he's snapping the ball. That's outside the spirit of the game. That's
you know what that is? That's like whoever made up the rule. If you ain't got no face cards, you got to throw your hand in and space.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's what this.
Yeah, stuff with when people come out with these outlandish Uno rules, you be like, "What is that, man? Uno what?" Yeah.
You can say he had Nick Saban on his heels, but all he did was just adapt. That's the only thing he did.
No, that wasn't adapting. That was like, okay, I can't adapt, so let's change the rules. Come on, bro. He didn't adapt. He got the rules changed.
When did the rule change? When did it change, though?
Come on, man.
What rules changed? Don't find the rules that changed.
Bro, it was the offensive. It was the defensive substitution rule, man.
It didn't change. It was implemented. There wasn't a rule.
Look at what he suggested. You gotta go look up and see what he suggested. What he pointed out to the NCAA, they was like, yeah, that's outside the rules.
Bro, no, they didn't, bro. This dude Saban was on. Bro, come on, man.
There was 9 changes that he suggested. You talking about one? You don't even know the other ones.
Tight. First of all, Saban number one. Saban started all this stuff about this. We don't need to run the hurry up and all this stuff for player safety. But then he turns around and start running the hurry up.
Because they said it was okay.
So, but that's my point is, bro, it's hypocritical, dude, to sit up and defend it. Bro, my point is to change the rule is not adapting, bro. It's like, bro, I can't win. I can't beat this dude coaching.
Not a rule.
At this moment, the show goes off the rails.
Yeah, but this is another rule. Yeah, like Gus, the first person to run a fast offense. He's not.
But Gus was the first person that Nick Saban went to the NCAA to get a rule change, man.
I can't say that because I ain't seen all his games at Michigan State. I ain't seen all that stuff. That's not the first Herb offense. But I'm telling you, you got to go read what he suggests to the NCAA.
You right,
and then you got to go through and be like, oh yeah, you will find that several of those things were against the rule book.
But let me ask you this question.
Have some crazy person like us.
Hold up. So the ineligible man down the field was they weren't enforcing that on the RPO.
That's what I'm saying. So basically,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the hurry up, no huddle.
Yeah, there was no rule in place that you had to give the defense.
That's what I'm talking about.
I said that's one of them. What about the other ones?
That's the only one I'm talking about, Tight. That's the only one I'm talking about. And that was
that didn't change Alabama. That changed all the football.
It changed Alabama too, though.
How?
That's what I'm talking about, Tight. Nick Saban did the rule to help Alabama. It benefited the rest of the other teams just by virtue that he did it. But he didn't do it, bro. Nick Saban didn't do it to benefit everybody. He did it to benefit Alabama.
Hold on, but you ain't telling me how it changed Alabama because you say he started running there.
It helped them win more. It helped them win against Auburn. That's how it changed Alabama. So it helped them win Iron Bowls.
What was the rule? What was the record between Auburn and Alabama at that time?
Okay, I'm just. That's my point. I'm not gonna derail the show, man. But that's my point, Nick. That
what was the record?
That was my point, man.
You came up in 2007. Y'all won with the first 1, 2, and then 2013. What was the record?
They won. They won the comeback, Tight.
Hold on, wait, won the comeback. What was your question again, Tight? Because I want to answer it. What was it?
It helped Alabama win more Iron Bowls by him changing that rule. Okay. I'm saying, well, what was the record before 2013?
The record before 2013, Auburn won 2010. Alabama won 2000.
I thought 2007. Saban got there in 2007. I give you that.
Gus was not there, Tight.
He was not there.
Gus was not. I'm talking about Gus since Gus got there. Right. Yeah, we're talking about since Gus got there, man.
Because if it was a problem, why didn't he suggest it in 2008 when Gus Malzahn wasn't there? That's my point. When Scott Loeffler was, I'm not Scott Loeffler.
Yeah, you're right, Scott Loeffler.
Yeah, when Scott Loeffler
was maybe the other coaches were too them not as smart as Nick Saban was to say, hey, this guy's beating me, but if he could keep it inside the rule book, it would probably work out better for everybody. Because if everybody started doing what Gus Malzahn's doing, guess what's gonna happen?
Nick Saban wasn't like, I'm gonna do this to help everybody, bro.
Where's Gus today? That stuff don't work too well.
Yeah, right, because he got the rule changed. He got the rule changed. But if Gus, listen, bro, if Gus was still, what I'm saying, bro, because Nick Saban got the rule changed. What I'm saying, if the rule wasn't changed, defenses would still not be able to substitute, and Gus Malzahn would still be rolling, bro. That's what you don't understand. By Nick Saban getting that change,
that's using blood press to play players. They still be winning this championship.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, Tight, if Nick Saban
all can do stuff outside the rule book, don't give just Antonio Langham 40,000. Get everybody 40,000 in 1992.
We talk about money, Tight. We talk about rule changes. Now you're trying to change
the rules. Antonio Langham $40,000. That's my point.
Let's go. Come on. Let's get.
Come on, man.
I'm
letting y'all.
It's hilarious.
All right, man.
That's hilarious.
Before we get up out of here, I got to give y'all some Auburn stuff because my Auburn people in here. What's up, y'all? JT Jonathan Taylor said, "Is the loss of Sam Jackson and Percy Lewis a bad thing? Because I could care less about Lewis. It's just an automatic penalty or sack. And Jackson, man, we got Singleton, Fields, and many better recruits." JT, to your question, I hate to say this, but I feel the exact same way you feel. I'm not too much worried about Percy Lewis. Percy Lewis, a lot.
Wasn't he on his way out anyway?
Well, yeah, it was a lot of hype around.
No, I mean he got didn't he get the No, never mind. It's a different player.
I hope they know Auburn recruits watching this. Is how they dump on y'all. When y'all
nobody dumping on them. We saw tape and we saw what happened.
Can I just say one thing before y'all keep going?
The reason why we went out and got Xavier Chaplin. But go ahead, B Sharp.
I don't like how y'all keep talking about my uncle because that's my uncle's name. Personally, I just found out about this guy.
Wow.
Hold up. So Percy Lewis that's your uncle or that's your uncle name?
That's my uncle's name, Percy Lewis Jr.
Okay.
We're not talking about B Sharp uncle. We talking about.
I was like, man, I was like, you don't care about it. You don't care about it.
That transferred from Mississippi State to Auburn.
We was losing Percy Lewis anyway. Only reason he's back is because of the JUCO rule.
Yes, he was leaving anyway, so he decided to enter the transfer portal. So yeah. And Sam Jackson is entering. He announced he's entering the transfer portal about 3 hours ago. So
what are these linemen?
No, Percy Lewis is a left tackle who we went in Xavier Chaplin to replace, and then Sam Jackson came from Cal, who was a quarterback turned receiver. So that's where we are there.
Call me Sam.
JT comes back and said, "Is Auburn done in the portal, or how many more are we getting?"
Absolutely not.
No, Auburn's not done in the portal. I can tell you that now.
Nobody's.
I'm surprised that a certain person didn't enter the portal, which is interesting to me. But we'll see what happens with that. But don't be surprised if Auburn looks at probably some more linebackers.
And receivers.
I think
we good.
I think you're gonna see them
make up more receivers.
Interior linemen, man.
Oh yeah, they definitely gonna look at interior defensive linemen, but they definitely gotta go get some linebackers. They gotta get some more linebackers.
Ain't doing it. That's why we got to keep getting these receivers.
We only had 4 on the roster.
That's what I'm saying.
You only had 4 on the roster, man.
And we got
getting away from them.
Elite Barber.
Getting away from them.
I'm Elite Barber. DJ Barber, DeMarcus Riddick, Robert Woodyard. Those are the only guys on the roster.
Hey, Sharp, man, I really want to hear your what's your take on the rule change? I want to hear Sharp opinion on what we was just saying.
I'm still waiting on the year when this even happened. I don't even know if this actually happened. Like usually
it happened. You know what? Why y'all doing that? I will look.
Go ahead. What you say, Sharp?
Yeah, because I don't even know. Like you saying that he's saying he went up there just because I can't keep up with this man. That ain't it. That don't even sound like Nick Saban.
I'm soft.
It's like if you want to play this game,
let me be soft.
I have always known he will tell you a problem with it. But if you want to play that game,
he will play.
He will be more efficient than you are.
Brain in with it.
If you want to play that game, we can be more efficient with it. Because I am him. I can recruit the players.
Are you sure you want to do this?
There you go. You said the
But
magic words. I can recruit the players.
Yeah,
Right.
we're not saying
A great coach can't coach bad players, bro.
No. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the reason why he was so effective at you taking this offense and implementing it is because he had better players. He was doing it with better players.
Right.
It's like you take any offense. If they decide, if you take a team that's loaded with 5-star players and they decide to run whatever Army's offense, if they got the players and personnel for it and they're all the best players in the country, it's going to look amazing.
No, it's not. That's not necessarily
right.
true.
Here we
Because
go.
Texas A&M had one of the greatest recruiting class ever, and they look like trash on offense.
Let's
But
go
that's
ahead.
because that was Jimbo Fisher.
Let's go ahead.
So coaching matters. Coaching matters.
That was Jimbo Fisher.
What you got, Nick?
Fellas, let's go ahead and put this to bed. Let's put this to bed real quick.
The alarm going off.
Yeah, that's a emergency alarm because we having bad weather down here. So this is per AL.com, published on October 3rd, 2012. Nick Saban was asked his thoughts on the kind of trend sweeping across college football, which was the hurry up, no huddle offense.
Sweeping.
This is his response. He was asked a question, and this is what he said. He said, "I think the way the people are going no huddle right now, that at some point in time we should look at how fast we allow the game to go in terms of player safety." Saban said on the SEC teleconference, "The team gets in the same formation group. You can substitute defensive players. You go on a 14, 16, 18 play drive, and they're snapping the ball as fast as you can go. And you look out there, and all your players are walking around and can't even get lined up. That's when guys have a much greater chance of getting hurt when they're not ready to play." So basically, he's blaming it on guys getting hurt and the potential of player safety because teams are going too fast. But in my opinion, when I played, they wanted you to go fast.
Let me tell you,
they wanted you to go all out each play. So he's blaming it on player safety. That's his quote. Those are his words. Now, he also said, "I think that's something that can be looked at. It's obviously created a tremendous advantage for the offense when teams are scoring 70 points and when averaging 49.5 points a game. With people that do those kinds of things, more and more people are going to do it." Those are his quotes. Those are his words. So, all right, do y'all want to still stick to y'all saying that he didn't complain about it? Do y'all still want to stick to that?
No, I didn't say he
Saban always said stuff about anything that you asked him, but you made it seem like they went up there and just said, "I can't stop this guy. Can you guys please change the rules?"
Well, here's why you can come to that conclusion though, B Sharp, is because he turned around and ran it. If he was truly concerned about players, listen to what I'm saying.
But he did it after they did the rule change, though.
Safety. If that was his true concern, player safety, then all of a sudden they were safe when Alabama ran it.
That was after the substitution rule change, though.
I'm just saying. He said that
was after the substitution rule change, though.
He said they are running so many plays,
and they can't get defensive players off the field.
That players are getting hurt. And then he turned around and did the exact same thing.
He did the same thing he told him with the 14
playoffs. Rules changed. When are you not missing the part that when the rules changed?
And who got the rules changed?
So Nick Saban just got so much pull. I can't do this. Y'all change the rules.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He did.
If that was the case, I need to stop this, bro.
Because at first y'all was saying that the rule didn't change, and then when I made that point,
now something else.
That he just went up there and said, "I can't stop this."
I can't stop.
I said
clearly the rule.
I said if you want to play this game, I can adapt to this, and you would not be able to stop me. Which proves with all the national championships that we won, especially when we got Lane Kiffin.
So we can agree on two things right now. One, Nick Saban complained about the rule. Two, the rule got changed.
Right.
Three, we can also conclude to what y'all have said that y'all benefited from it, implemented it, used it.
After they changed the rule about substitution.
Okay, so before the rule change, you didn't benefit from it.
because
complain
he
about the
thought
rule
it was
change,
gonna hurt players.
and then after the rule change, you benefit from it.
You substitute
That's
players
kind of what
out.
DC started. We said this whole thing. That's kind of exactly what DC said in the beginning.
Okay.
Said he couldn't
Well,
stop
it didn't
offense.
benefit you
He
guys
complained about the
when,
rule.
when it wasn't the
But they
rule.
changed it.
When it wasn't the rule, but it
Then
just
when it wasn't
somehow
the rule, it
just
was
benefited
even
us when the
Steven
rule
again.
changed.
What happened?
When it wasn't a rule, it was what?
Yeah, when after when they got changed, where it's even Steven, it makes sense. Y'all didn't even keep Gus around so he could flourish inside of the rules.
Hey,
he could use his system. Yeah,
That's
because
what I'm
system was
saying. Like,
garbage.
what are we talking about here, man? This is like nonsense. What are we
Foolishness.
doing?
Malarkey.
I have yet to just hear any type of evidence that say I'm the one that got the rule change. You just saying because one coach, you act like he's the only one. And then what Tyke said, they changed other rules too.
Yeah,
Did he
well,
complain
they
about
start enforcing other rules.
What
Like,
other
come
rules
on,
changed?
man.
They start enforcing other rules. Like you couldn't lead on
You're
this
talking
side
about
of the field.
enforcing, but we're talking about change. I'm only talking about one rule.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
they
I'm saying?
talking
That's
about
what I'm talking about,
the other
I
stuff.
wasn't talking about
He
the
wrote
other
a
rules.
plethora of stuff, and he sent film examples. And I remember reading an article. They went through the film examples of what Gus was doing, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna watch out for all that next year." And they started calling it. Y'all had people leaving the field on the other side while my DB's coming back down the doggone sideline. Gus is running the play, and your people behind the goalpost. You can't do that. And
nobody's disagreeing with if all the rules will change. We're talking about one rule.
You can't do it no more. Well, let you put a trench coat on them, but I'll get to that later. But you can hide them back there, or you can run them in the tunnel. What you do is you run them out through the tunnel, and the referees can't see them. It's ways to get around stuff like that.
It's probably about to change again because now what teams are doing, they waiting to the end of the play clock to send in their substitutions on offense.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's starting to hurt offenses too because I saw one offense they're starting to substitute so late, and I guess the referees hold it for a certain amount of time, and then they get a delay of game.
And then the defense is walking slow as possible.
Exactly. So it's like I don't know. They're trying to get in and out in 3 hours.
Everybody's been the rules here and there. They try to find a loophole through the rules when it comes to anything. It could be offense or defense.
But I say this, Josh Pate, he did a thing on this. He was like, he was 5 instances since Saban was at Alabama where he said Saban came against something, and he's not saying I'm against this. He's saying like, okay, like we're gonna fight with bats, or y'all just want to go fist to fist. And he said, you want to use a bat? We can use a bat, but you don't know this man is a bat master. So you say, I don't want to fight you with a bat. And then he takes the bat and commits to beating the brakes off you. You're like, oh, stop. Saban, I get that video and I get it out to Nick so he can get it to you. He went through these instances where it looks like Saban was like complaining, but he was just trying to get some clarification. Like, okay, you want to do this, this, and this? And everybody like, yeah, here comes Saban again. He's complaining. He got the best team in the country. And then once they say, yeah, that's what we want to do. And then it's like, wait a minute, Saban's using that now. They say he didn't say he wasn't going to use it. He just said, are you sure you want to do, which was that all I did?
Come on, man.
They want to play this game.
Come on, man. Y'all telling me, come on now. Y'all telling me Saban wasn't complaining now?
No, we never said. No,
come on,
you
bro.
voicing a concern. You voicing a concern about something is not.
Bro, that dude was complaining.
Okay, and then guess what? Because I know how the game is going to be if I use this to my advantage. Because I have the players, I know how to recruit. I'm going to get these guys, and I'm going to dominate you. And then then what are you going to do now?
Okay, so let me ask y'all this: since Saban is such a master of not complaining, and
we never said
Tyke just said he was. No, I'm going on what Tyke said.
No, I'm saying
Tyke said
was saying that.
No, I'm saying
I'm trying.
You just saying that Saban wasn't complaining. He was just being concerned. That's what you just said.
He was trying to get clarification.
Right, you just said he wasn't complaining. Right,
and then once he made it clear, they said that what you want to do. Okay, we can do that.
Right,
and when I start doing it, I don't want to hear nobody talking about it.
That's what I'm just piggybacking off of you saying that he wasn't complaining. He's just trying to get clarification. Okay, he did the same thing with NIL, so why he didn't just adjust?
He did adjust.
Why did he adjust with it? No, I'm saying
that's a major retirement.
No, I'm saying why didn't he adjust and keep playing and dominate everybody?
Because he's 73 years old.
No, bro, I'm just saying. No, that ain't why he quit.
Saban
didn't say he quit because Saban didn't say he retired because of his age, bro. Saban said he retired
he
because
could not do what he used to do.
Saban said
that it was a lot to manage.
No, he couldn't adjust to the NIL because Alabama is not the richest team in the country. That's why.
NIL was put in 5 years ago, and he adjusted well. What are you talking about? We still had like number one and number two recruits.
You didn't have attrition of the transfer portal. He said after that season, he had to have meetings with 30 players that were trying to talk about playing time and all this stuff. And he was just like, at that point, he couldn't take it anymore, man. And he was like, also the attitude of the Alabama players after games. So he was like, they didn't have sportsmanship. What I'm saying, that's not
over ages of 70 that don't want to adjust. That's unusual to you.
Tight. Nick
Somebody
Saban
7 years old don't want to adjust their life.
Nick Saban said, man, that was a decision that he made at that point on that day before the meeting. That wasn't something he thought out, man. He said that was a decision he made with all of that stuff cascading on him. Nobody knew when he went to that meeting he was about to retire, because he was saying the team the next year with Caleb Downs and all those folks, he was saying he thought that was a championship team. That decision wasn't made before that day, dude. He said he talked to Miss Terry and he made that decision while he was talking to her. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't.
If he made it 2 weeks later, would it
I'm
make
just
a
going off. I'm just going off what Nick Saban said.
No, but I'm saying, but you want a man that's been coaching for 50 years to adjust at the age of 70. Because
I'm just going off what Nick Saban said.
If Nick Saban was still coaching now, you would be like, you wouldn't even have none of this to say. I'm not understanding what your point is. No, I'm used to people at 70 not wanting to change.
Sue, I'm just going. I'm going off what Nick Saban said.
The man is even 70. He retired at 73, and you've been talking about this crazy stuff like, man, if Nick Saban go to Arkansas, they'll be the next champ. No, they would not. And I'm sick of it. They not. You Belichick ain't going no damn championship either.
Okay, all right, man. Write
it down. I said,
bro. I said if Nick Saban went to Ohio State, they would win a national championship. That was my quote, and I still believe that. I still believe that.
This is a man right here. Shout out to Lynn. That is in those NIL talks. Shout out to my man Lynn, and he's telling you that it wasn't about no money.
But the fact that you could coach some people up, and 15 or 20 of them gonna rotate out where you don't know what you have. I mean, really, Nick Saban go to the NFL and put up with that.
So I don't know if
and you know they leaving in the NFL. You know they leaving.
Whatever reason he retired, but right. I know like the difference in NIL between Alabama and other schools, when you see recruiting is because Alabama is not the richest school out there.
It's not.
Who the richest school?
That's why it would probably be like Texas, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Why you say Texas?
Texas A&M, one of those two.
Probably Texas. When you talk about NIL money, they have the boosters. Like, I want you to think about this. You remember when Nick Saban went on that rant where he called Dion out?
Right. Yeah.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was in, if I'm not mistaken, he was in Texas at a booster meeting, an Alabama booster meeting for the people in Texas. He was saying that to them because those are the people with the money. Those are the boosters, the Alabama boosters with the most money. They're the ones that are in Texas. He kind of recognized that, like saying, hey, if you want us to keep up this recruiting, I'm going to need y'all to open y'all pockets up.
And they still doing it today because it's a different landscape. I was just telling DC the other day that, Arizona State, their booster is a guy, Fulton. He's a CEO, founder of Fulton Homes. He builds 1,000 homes every year there in the state of Arizona. He's one of their big boosters. I ain't never heard of him. Mark Cuban pushes Indiana, where he went to school. You got the guy that owns Cleveland. He pushing Tennessee. All these schools. Tuskegee literally has 2 billionaires. You know how many billionaires they probably got at Tulane? If Tuskegee got 2, there's money at all these schools, but nobody's trying to get them to put a billion into the doggone school. The Milwaukee Bucks owner said he's constantly in negotiation talks with some universities right now to buy 49% of the athletic department or the football and or the basketball team. The money's about to change, and really it's going to change at the lower level first because the top 35, they cost too much, 750 million and up to the worth of the team. You have to pay the cash flows and all that stuff. But you can go to like the MAC, buy one of them teams, put your label on it, or let me just take another school. Maryland. That's where the guys at Under Armour went to school, right? If they got crazy and went in there to the athletic director and said, man, let's make a big push with Terrapins. And they could dominate. See, money is not just about where you're located with the oil, it's about who wants to give you what. Because Phil Knight, he made a big deposit at Oregon.
Like Phil Knight, yeah.
All right, fellas, this conversation has went way off from where it was. Because we were definitely not talking NIL or anything like that.
Blame tight, not tight. Blame DC.
Blame DC for this.
DC just
change.
No, the topic was what
always
was innovative, and I would
Oh.
just say I said Alabama and Auburn. That's all I said. That Alabama was innovative, and it was because of Gus Malzahn. That's all I said.
Wow.
Next Friday, let's make this.
That's when it went off the rails.
Every Friday, what I'm doing on this channel is every Friday. Of course, I talk Auburn football, but every Friday I want to talk SEC stuff and things that contribute to college football landscape. So this is what we're gonna do every Friday. If y'all are cool with it, if y'all can make it back next Friday, we'll have that conversation about NIL.
I got to talk to you about my contract because
You got
DC
point, man.
here may not work, man. It may
It's
not
perfectly
work.
fine. Perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's okay. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do.
And we can bring him in halfway through the show because I don't know if I can do it.
All right, fellas, man. Before we get up out of here, man, I want y'all guys to go ahead and shout out y'all handles. Let everybody know where they can find y'all at. Because I appreciate y'all coming up on here, man. We're gonna start with the one and only Tez. Did the camera not move over to you? Jesus Christ. What's going on, man?
I thought you were going.
You just took over front and
You
center.
said Tez, man.
Yeah, I said Tez. Yeah, I don't know why it won't move, but let's go with Tez. Let's go first.
There you go.
There you go.
It's happening, Ted, at Frodo Imagery. Also, www.frodoimagery.com. Nick, thank you for having me, man. Always a pleasure. DC, tight, be sharp. Y'all can catch me on Sharpshooters Podcast. Let me see if I can. It's on. Right there. Sharpshooters Podcast. Yeah, you catch me and Be Sharp. He'll tell you where he catches. But yeah, appreciate it again, man. Appreciate it for having me, man. Love talking SEC and sports with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next up, one and only, Be Sharp.
Oh yeah, man. Y'all already know I'm Be Sharp of the Sharpshooters Podcast. One part of the Wu-Tang clan of the Sharpshooters Podcast. The link right there in the comment section, man. We welcome all, man. We talk Alabama. Well, we talk college football, NBA, all that good stuff. Just come over here. All Auburn fans are welcome. I have Auburn Tez up here. All the Alabama fans love Auburn Tez because he talks reasonable. Now, do y'all come over there with that nonsense? Then we're gonna have to talk bad about them trees. But we ain't gonna go there. But y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Nick, bring me on the channel as always, man. Haven't done one on your channel in a minute, so definitely appreciate it. Appreciate you, tight DC, and like I said, everybody's favorite Auburn fan, Auburn Tez. And I'm adding the Auburn part on this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all saw him tonight, the one and only Tight Sports.
Oh yeah, Tight Sports Talk on X. If you want to go over there and see me screaming at people, and you can also get me at Tight Sports on Facebook, Blue Sky, and YouTube, of course. Come check us out. We are an Alabama football megacast, but we talk about all Alabama sports. We will drop a couple of notes about the Alabama rowing team and see how they're progressing through their season whenever it starts. I hope they're not out there rowing right now because it's cold. Gymnastics is something I look into as well as basketball, men's and women's. I'm very upset that ESPN does not show on the regular channels Alabama women's basketball. We will be launching a protest pretty soon, but join us. Roll Tide to everybody. Thank you, Nick, for having me over. Auburn Tez, I think this is the first time we were on a show together. And DC, go break yourself.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, the one and only DC Wolf.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I am DC Wolf, man. Auburn Addicts-TV, man. You can catch me on all platforms at Auburn_Addicts. We talking Auburn all the time, 24/7 a day, in our sleep, when we wake up, whatever we do. We talking Auburn, man. So, man, I appreciate, Nick, you having me on with this great group of gentlemen, man. This is a privilege, man.
Mischievous and deceitful, chicaneous and deplorable.
Hey, and if you want to see a train wreck, check out me and Tight. We got a show, Iron Bowl debate, man. If you want to see a train wreck, we just got off arguing about the Wizard of Oz, man.
Yeah, in them
Jesus Christ, man. But me and Nick on Sunday, and then me and Tight on Wednesdays, man. At 6 p.m.
Your girl was a criminal. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, God, man.
Green Face Adams. Hey, if y'all don't know about them Green Face Adams, y'all gotta go get some, man. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all so much. Like I always say, man, your presence. If you ever come over here, when you do come over to the Water Cooler Talk podcast,
Oh my God,
I am never not appreciative of you all here coming around. Excuse me, coming around and chilling with me here at the on the Water Cooler Talk podcast. As always, if you don't mind, we are like 11, I believe, subscribers away from hitting 500 before the end of the year. So, follow us on Twitter, X at CoolersPod23. Follow us on Instagram at the Water Cooler Talk, on Facebook. Follow us at the Water Cooler Talk podcast on Facebook. And of course, like I just stated, we like 11 people away from hitting 500 subs before the end of the year.
Awesome.
So subscribe, like, and share. Hit the notification bell so you know when we post. We do shows every day, Monday through Friday. We here every day, Monday, Tuesday at 7 p.m., Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m., and then Thursdays and Friday at 7 p.m. We are here on the Water Cooler Talk podcast channel, man. So we appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us here. And hopefully y'all come back and come around, man. We like the Discord, because it brings out great conversation. That's what it does. It brings out great conversation. So we appreciate y'all. If all hearts and minds are clear, if there's nothing else anybody wants to get off their chest, I see a hand. Go ahead, Tight.
I want to say Dorothy on the Wizard of Oz was a felon. Roll Tide. Felony murder rule. Plain and simple.
And F them trees.
Hey man, what about the Green Stacey Adams though? Them Green Stacey Adams, bro, that was funny.
That's what DC be out there driving in. Green Stacey Adams, sky blue, sky blue.
I told you, man. I told you you might not want to bring us both on at the same time, bro. We have to, me and him have to do separate shows, man. We can't be on the same show.
Go say I want to get the rules changed.
Yeah, we can't be on the same show. Yeah, that's what you would do. Get the rules, try to get the rules changed. You heard what he said. Nick, bring in DC at half of the show. He was trying to get the rules changed. He's trying to, you see what I'm saying? That's how I go, man. They try to get the rules changed, man. Bring DC in on half of the show.
Half of the show.
Yeah. See how I go, man? It is what it is, man.
Yeah, we thank y'all so much for rocking with us around the water cooler. Please subscribe, and share. It is right now. The Green Face Adams with the buckle. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, boy. Jesus Christ, man.
You're hilarious, man.
Please please subscribe, please comment, please share the video. 11 subscribers away from 500, man. We're trying to hit that before the end of the year, and we appreciate y'all. If all minds are clear, back to the head. Jesus Christ.
Y'all got him started, man. I told you, bro. You can't stop it when he gets started, man. I told you, man.
You don't want to get the trees joke. You good.
It ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it.
Go look up Harvey Updike.
Here we go.
Go look up Harvey Updike.
Just look at Toomer's Corner. They like to roll up their toilet paper on these dirty trees.
I ain't never got that. I just noticed that.
Rest in peace to the late great Harvey.
Hey, shout out to Lynn, man. Shout out to Lynn that was in the chat. Shout out to Ed Darby. Shout out to all the people that normally was us in the chat. Ed Darby, Huggy Beard, JT, Auburn. I think I ain't see Auburn Dad for Life was in there, but shout out to everybody that's normally in the chat with us, man. We appreciate y'all so much. King Richard, shout out to King Richard, man. You know,
King. Yes, sir.
I thought Big C Wilson was in the chat today, man.
Yes.
So shout out to Big C Wilson, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. Now, for real though, if all hearts and minds are clear,
just end the show, man.
I'm about
Just
to
end the show. I'm telling you, man, just end it.
As always, y'all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one, man. We appreciate y'all so much. Y'all be blessed. And as always, until next time, one love. And we out this mug.
We're time.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so you know when we post more videos and go live.